So we got some trouble brewing in the world at this current moment in time. Corporations in the United States, and I guess a lot of these are multinational, but either way, they're mad as hell. And so I've got an article here that is indicative of that. Pipeline company issues broad subpoena to a news site that covered protests against it. So, folks, for those of you that might not know, there were a lot of protests, I believe, in 2015 and 16 over I think it was the Dakota Access Pipeline, which, very interestingly, Joe Biden set an executive order to stop the production of, I'm pretty sure. But either way, the company that was in charge of that pipeline got really pissed off at a bunch of indigenous water protectors, saying basically you're poisoning our water sources. That's going to result in displacing our society and also going to result in killing us because we don't have fucking clean water. And it was a huge disaster. This was, of course, when Barack Obama was still president. This was also, I guess it was in 2016, I want to say, because I remember Donald Trump also talking about it. But anyway, either way, federal troops went in. They used like water cannons in sub-freezing temperatures, giving a lot of people hypothermia, I believe. No good. But the company in charge of that pipeline is now going sue crazy and trying to subpoena the news group Unicorn Riot, who covered those protests. And so this is from The Intercept. Let's read. Last week, members of the nonprofit news organization Unicorn Riot received a subpoena from the pipeline giant Energy Transfer, seeking a wide range of documents, including news-gathering materials that would identify sources. The subpoena is part of an aggressive, years-long effort, legal effort no less, launched by Energy Transfer in the wake of the Standing Rock movement, when thousands of opponents of the corporation's Dakota Access Pipeline came to camps at the border of the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in an attempt to stop pipeline construction and protect the tribe's drinking water from contamination. Now, as we know, I believe there are similar pipelines to the Dakota Access Pipeline. They were like building that pipeline in the mold of these other ones. And then it was discovered that these other pipelines are bursting constantly, but no one knows because they're underground. And so like basically you don't know a pipeline has burst until oil starts seeping through the fucking soil. From my understanding, a couple of these pipelines have burst, and then it takes like weeks for anyone to realize that, and then you see someone like walking on the side of the street and they say, what is this like stuff bubbling up from the ground? Like it literally comes through the fucking ground. It bubbles up through the mud. And then like, oh, there's oil. Whoops, we just, wasted a shitload of shit. It's in the fucking soil. It's contaminated everything. Water is contaminated. This happens all over the country, by the way. All over the goddamn country. So this is a huge problem. Through a series of expensive conspiracy lawsuits against a disparate range of actors, the pipeline company has sought to paint the Standing Rock movement as a product of a vast misinformation-driven conspiracy to damage Energy Transfer. What? Now, as part of that effort, Energy Transfer is demanding Unicorn Riot turn over virtually any documents, video footage, audio, article drafts, and communications related to the firm and its pipeline. The subpoena also sought information about the nonprofit's organizational structure, social media accounts, and names of employees, volunteers, and supporters. So basically, they're just trying to destroy the whole company. And this is the thing that's, it might be an illegal subpoena. It might be irrelevant. They might not, it might really, at the end of the day, whether or not it's legal to issue these subpoenas, it's the same thing with what Trump did with the election. It's you do the lawsuit, you know you're going to lose just for the sake of doing something. And so that's the idea. These large multinational corporations are just going to try to throw as many lawsuits at as many people as they can. They've got infinite money. They've got infinite money in the bank where they can pay out legal fees out the wazoo and probably profit off of those legal fees because they're probably paying their, cousin-in-law who's the lawyer. So they're probably just paying their buddies anyway. So they're probably profiting off of paying people to basically run other outfits dry, because when you get a bunch of subpoenas from a lot of these large corporations, it costs a lot of money to defend yourself in court. And even if the Constitution is on your side, even if the law is on your side, you have to spend the money somewhere, even if you're going to win the case regardless. So all it really is about is providing a headache for these people, trying to basically just gum up the works, try to basically stop their output. Unicorn Riot, at this very moment right now, is covering the Derek Chauvin trial as well. So basically just trying to just slow down their ability to report things as much as they possibly can, even though they know they're going to lose, and they're going to make money off of that. So no good, folks. No good. And you can read the rest of this article yourself. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, giant disaster for sure. And again, it's really interesting that these companies are litigating these things like 6 years later. You know, it's interesting, to say the least. In other words, they're really upset. Anyone protesting their efforts in any capacity, they are still really mad about. So, there you go.